Yeah, I'm back again. There's been a lot of questions surrounding the Colorado Buffaloes football team, mainly the offensive line and the protection of Shedeur Sanders. There was a question that's been looming out there. It's the question. It goes as far as this. It says, can the Colorado Buffaloes fix the problem with Shedeur's protection? Now, when I read that question, I'm a bit torn. I'm a bit split. Is this a real question? Is this a rhetorical question? Or is this an idiotic question? It has to fall into one of those categories. Let's start with it being possibly a real question. If this was a real question about protecting Shedeur, then Colorado Buffaloes would have already shown signs of doing something different to protect him. They've not done that yet. What happened at UCLA is not the first time that Shedeur has been pressured and hit and hurried and sacked. This has been an ongoing thing for the entire damn season. So let's not act like the UCLA game is the only game that showed how the offensive line had struggles in protecting Shedeur Sanders. It's not. This has been a all-season problem. Since game one, he's always been under pressure. So when you ask a question like, can the problem be fixed? That's where now I'm like, if you're being real, then either you haven't been on this planet for the past 8-9 weeks, you have not watched a single game of Colorado at all, or you are an idiot. That's the only way that you would actually assume that question is actually a real question to ask. Can they fix it? If they could fix it, they would have at least attempted to fix it. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you continue to do the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you're not getting a different result, and then you continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, then I would have to ask the question, are you sane? Do you have all your faculties intact? It's not about if Colorado can do something to fix it. They're not doing anything to fix it. They just think that they're going to wake up the next morning, Coach Prime is going to motivate the team, and then all of a sudden the offensive line is going to be capable of doing something that they're not capable of doing. Now, again, I've said this tons of times. I don't believe that the offensive line is as bad as people are making it look. Are they top notch? No. Are they horrible? No. I believe the offensive play calling plays a huge part in why Shedeur is being exposed and being pressured and being sacked so much. Because you are too predictable, Sean Lewis. So when the question is posed to the public and it says, can the problem be fixed? Well, it can. It can be fixed if a intentional attempt at fixing it is put forth. But if it's not put forth, then it will never be fixed. You can't fix a problem by applying the same thing you've been doing that has not shown to fix the problem. You got to do something different. Think about this for a second. Colorado Buffaloes only ran the ball 7 times against UCLA. That's insane. That's insane. Last time I checked, I'm not a genius. I know one thing that can protect the quarterback. I know one way a quarterback can never be sacked. If the quarterback hands the ball off to the running back gets hit, not the quarterback. If a quarterback hands the ball off to a running back, the running back is the one that's going to take the blows, not the quarterback. If you want to protect Shedeur Sanders, run the goddamn ball. It's that simple. Whether you're successful or not is not the point. You're not successful anyway. You're losing games. And then your quarterback is taking a beating. So it's a lose-lose proposition if you continue to do the same thing that you've been doing. I would rather utilize my talent, the running backs that I have. You don't know if you can be successful because you're not really making an intentional attempt to actually be successful running the ball. You don't want to be successful running the ball. Coach Prime's son is Shedeur. So Shedeur is going to get the shine. He has to get the shine by any means necessary. We will pass to our last breath. We will pass the ball into the second coming of Christ. We will pass the ball until infinity has no infinity. I mean, that's what they're doing. And then you want to ask the question, can the problem be fixed? Yeah, the problem can be fixed, but you guys aren't interested in fixing the problem. You guys think somehow, some way, Shedeur is going to put on his cape and be Superman and save the day. He's not. You're not utilizing your running backs. You're not even utilizing your offensive line skill set. They may not be that strong as pass blockers, but I bet they're better run blockers. And it's shown. The few runs they have, they do gain positive yards. It's not as if when they run the ball, they're losing yards. They may get 2 or 3 or 4 yards here and there, but you have to be consistent with the run. You guys are consistent with the pass and getting nothing out of it. You're getting Shedeur beat the hell up. The offensive line is losing confidence because everyone in America is talking about, oh, the offensive line is horrible. Coach Prime needs to revamp the offensive line. Do you know how it makes those offensive linemen feel when you continue to put them in a position where they're not successful? You have to play to the strengths of your team, Coach Lewis and Coach Prime. Yes, I'm going to put this on Coach Prime as well. He's the head coach. He's the head coach. As much as I love him, I got to be objective. You are the head coach of the football team. Your son is getting killed out there. He's not going to make it through the season, Coach Prime. He's not going to make it through the season. As talented as he is, you cannot continue to take hits like that. You cannot. And then your offensive line, from a psychological standpoint, are taking a beating. Everywhere you turn to, everyone's pointing the finger at the offensive line. Well, how about you run the ball and see how good the offensive line can be when they run block? They're not bad. They're bad when you're predictable. Any NFL team that has a decent offensive line, if an NFL team with a decent offensive line becomes predictable, then the defensive line will exploit that predictability, and they will pin their ears back and demolish the quarterback. I guarantee it. And you're not gonna like the way you look. This is not Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it. Can the problem be fixed? Yeah, how about you try running the damn ball and taking the pressure off of your quarterback? This is ridiculous. You keep doing the same damn thing as if, oh, the line is gonna stop them now. Oh, maybe the line is gonna stop them now. Well, gee whiz, you're running the same play all the time. And it may not be the same exact play, but you're running pass plays all the time. A pass plays that require your quarterback to have at minimum 3 to 4 seconds to scan the field. He's not getting that. And then when you go to the short passing game, and then people say, well, the short passing game is their running game. And again, I made a video, I talked about that. A running game and a passing game, you cannot mince words and say, well, a short pass to gain 3 yards is equivalent to a 3-yard run. It's not. You have to wear the defensive line down. Those defensive linemen for UCLA are not thick. They're not big. They're speedy. They're fast. They're athletic. So, and then you look at the offensive line for Colorado. They're thicker. They're big. They may not be quick, but they're better run blockers. They can actually start to wear down the defensive line of UCLA if they put the pressure on UCLA in that way. But you make the game very easy for the D-line of UCLA. This is easy work. They stop putting their hands in the ground. They just start to stand up. Hey, we're gonna just rush. We're gonna just run in there and just knock out Shedeur Sanders. Can the problem be fixed? You guys aren't interested in fixing the problem. You're interested in padding stats. You're interested in padding Shedeur stats. And Coach Prime, if this is true, you need to stop that. You're getting your son killed. You need to go to Sean Lewis like yesterday and say, hey, look, man, we got to start running the ball more. We have to be at least a 50-50 team. If we run 50 plays, 25 pass, 25 run. It's to the point now of the season, to hell with trying to make a bowl. Making a bowl shouldn't even be the goal of the Colorado Buffaloes. Making a bowl game should not be the goal. You know what the goal should be for Colorado Buffaloes? Make it through the season with Shedeur Sanders still healthy and standing on his 2 feet. It's not about wins and losses, because the way you guys are playing now, you guys are not going to win any games. You guys are going to lose out. 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 Oregon State is ranked. Oregon State, I think your next game is Oregon State. You're gonna lose to Oregon State. If you continue to do the same thing, you're gonna lose. Teams have tape on you guys now, folks. Yeah, you got away. You beat TCU. You beat Nebraska. You squeaked by Colorado State, and all of a sudden, teams are starting to get the hang of what you guys do. You're too predictable. Your team is too predictable. You guys are not talented enough to be predictable. You know teams that are juggernauts? Like, I'll give you an example. Georgia, #1 team in the country, or Michigan. Take your pick. All right, those teams are predictable. You can't stop them because their predictability. They're so stout. They're so dominant in their positions that they dominate that even if you know what they're going to do, you can't stop them. Colorado is not there yet. They're talented, but they're not so talented where they can continue to run the same damn play and expect, oh, we're going to force our will against them. No, the opposite is becoming true. Other teams' defenses are forcing their will against you, and you're getting your quarterback demolished. He's getting smashed. I want you guys to look up the statistics, how many times this man has been sacked. I can't believe that he was still playing. You guys saw how he was limping. He was gimpy. Most of the game, he was gimpy. He was limping around. He couldn't. I'm surprised he finished the game. Again, the goal is not bowl games. This season is a wash. Just forget the season. Just play and incorporate your run. Build your offensive lineman's confidence. Because I feel like the offensive line, they're becoming a scapegoat for these losses, and it's not fair on them because the coaches have to take some accountability for what the offensive linemen are doing. If you know your offensive linemen are struggling with pass blocking, then why the hell do you continue to pass the ball on every play? Why are you 97% pass and like 3, 4, 5% run? That's predictability. If the defense can just say, oh, they're gonna pass the ball most of the time, then that means that Shedeur Sanders is gonna get sacked most of the time. But if you're running the ball with Alton McCaskill, Wilkerson, Dylan Edwards, if you're using your running backs, then all of a sudden the defense is like, oh, I don't know. You keep them off balance. It's chess, guys, not checkers. You're playing checkers. You're in a Power 5 conference playing checkers with experienced coaches, with NFL prospects on the D-line, and you continue to pass the damn ball. This is not high school or junior high, folks. The arrogance of Colorado is unbelievable. Sean Lewis and Prime, I have to point my finger at you too, Coach Prime. I have to. I don't want to, but I have to. Your son's great. He is. But this isn't golf or tennis. This isn't a single player sport. This isn't ping pong, man. You're playing a team sport. As great as your son is at quarterback, he's going to need those horses in the front to protect him. He's going to need them. And if they're not protecting him the way he should be protected, then it's up to you as a coach to design schemes to protect your son. Health is much more important than a Heisman. His health is much more important than padding his damn stats. Your son's well-being and mental state and his health is much better. Remember, he's not going to be in Colorado forever. His aspirations are to go to the NFL. You don't want your son limping into the NFL broken, because if he limps in, he's going to limp out. You don't come into the NFL and get healthy. If you come in with issues, you won't last. Your son's a junior. Protect him. If he comes back next year, protect him. You guys have about 3-4 more games left of the season, I believe. Forget the bowl. Forget the bowl game. Just say, you know what? We're going to just run the ball. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do something different. You'd be amazed at what happens when you run the ball. Hey, your running backs are fresh. You haven't used them all year. So none of them should be injured. They're all fresh. You don't run the ball. Can the problem be fixed? That's not a real question. That's not a real question. Well, it may be a real question for people that are actually genuinely concerned. I believe it's a real question. But if it's a question posed to if it's a question that's proposed to the Colorado Buffaloes, that's not a real question for them, because that question should have been answered a long time ago. That question should have been answered game 3 of the football season. They continue to do the same damn thing. Horn, Weaver, Dylan Edwards. You're too predictable. You're throwing to the same people. You're doing the same routes. Occasionally, you may throw the ball to Harrison. You may go long for Travis Hunter every now and then. When Shedeur, as if he even has time to even step back and throw the ball. Do something different. Do something different. Run the ball down the middle. Run the ball between the tackles. You have the linebackers with the girth. and the physicality to do it. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. If I was Alton McCaskill on those running backs, I would hit the portal as soon as I can and get the hell out of there. If you're not going to use me for my skill set, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. You guys are trying to be Oregon. You guys are trying to be USC without the dogs up front. You're not. No. Stop passing the ball so much. So can the problem be fixed? No, it can't. It cannot be fixed. Not with the men that are in leadership. Not with the coaches that are coaching them. You trying to tell me if coach? Okay, let me give you guys an example. Some of you guys may think I'm being negative here, but I'm being very truthful and honest. Let's say Chip Kelly, the coach for UCLA, was given the job at Colorado with the same roster that Coach Prime has right now. And Chip Kelly sees that his quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, is taking the beating. Do you think Chip Kelly's going to continue to keep passing the ball? Exactly. You answered the question. He's not. So there's a level of incompetence, or I wouldn't even say incompetence. I think Sean Lewis is a competent man. I know Coach Prime is competent. He didn't get to where he's at by being a dummy. But I think there's a level of pride and ego, and there's a narrative that's trying to be written there in Colorado. And to me, it's clear as day that they're trying to build a case for Shedeur Sanders being a great quarterback, but we already know that. But how is that going so far, guys? You guys are trying to build him up as some great quarterback, but he's getting his ass beat. He's getting demolished and crushed. So what it's showing now, his numbers are declining week by week because he's not going 300 to 400 yards a game like he was earlier in the season. So padding the stats are gone. Stop it. You guys have more talent than Shedeur and Travis Hunter. There's too much talented people on that team. A lot of those guys who hit the portal were 4-star, 5-star athletes. It's not like the people who came through the portal. Remember, Prime said, I'm bringing my Louis luggage. So he was confident enough to know that the players he was bringing over were good. Now, were they good enough to win a championship his first year? Of course not. Prime never stated that he's going to win the national championships, but he wanted to be competitive and he wanted to win games, which they have won games, but lately they're not being competitive. They're not being competitive because they're not using their talent. They're not using everything that came through the portal. If you're gonna encourage people to say, if you're gonna say I ain't hard to find, I'm right here, I'm gonna get my dogs. And when you have players who actually hit the portal and they practice hard and they play hard and they've earned their right to be on the damn field, then use them, Coach Prime. Use Alton McCaskill. Use your running backs. Use the people on your team. This is ridiculous. Can they fix the problem? You go figure. You don't even ask that question. Can they fix it? They don't want to fix it. They want to pad Shedeur Sanders stats. That's what they're more interested in. And then point and blame the offensive line. No. Blame the coaches for continuing to run the same damn plays. Ridiculous. Man, if I could sit down with those offensive linemen, I would just talk to them and say, man, don't listen to the media, don't listen to anything. You guys are doing the best you can. Your coaches are putting you in a position to look very stupid and very silly. So you guys are now the scapegoat. You guys are now the scapegoat for their incompetence. You guys are now the scapegoat for their arrogance. You guys are now the scapegoat for their bullheadedness. You guys are now the scapegoat for them trying to paint or write a narrative to make Shedeur the best quarterback in college football. Yeah, I said make. Because it's a team sport. You can't force that to happen. You have to let it happen organically. If the offensive line is struggling, you stop running the same damn plays that's getting your quarterback killed. I don't understand that. I'm out, man. This is frustrating me. I don't get it.